So I'm in a bad mood. I have lost this game. I'm about to be killed by this character right here. And I am the type of person, the type of white person, not by choice. I didn't choose the color of my skin. And I don't care about skin color. But nevertheless, I am the type of white person that complains about racism when he's in a bad mood. And I'm watching Crystal and Sagar, and they're talking about Joe Biden saying there's never been a racist president until Trump. And I realize my standard previous to now was that anyone can say the N-word and it should mean human. And people should self-identify as the N-word, and that solves the N-word problem. But the deeper problem has always been racism. And it has infected our brains, and it is highly negrophobic. It is definitely a slanted table, and it's definitely oppressive, and that means that it's corrupting of the oppressed. Oppressed people are sometimes some of the worst people because of the oppression. And so it's not that we can't have hope for them. It's not that we need to exclude them or lock them up. It just means that it's unfair, and it places a burden on all of us. But Biden can't say the N-word means that if he says the N-word, we will prevent him from being president. And I think that's true. I think Trump could win if Biden got caught on a camera saying the N-word. I think Trump could play that out and actually win. And the irony is that, I mean, it depends how bad the tape is, especially if it's just virulently racist. If it's like, N-words can't do this, or man, that guy's a fucking N-word. Like, that would be offensive, and people would not allow that in a politician. That's my guess. I don't know these answers. What am I going to poll people about that? I'm nobody. And so a lot of what I think is irrelevant. All I'm saying is all the presidents have been racist, except maybe Jimmy Carter. Where's a non-racist president? Name one. Washington owned slaves, Jefferson owned slaves and slept with them. Clinton put people in prison in record numbers and vilified crack use, which is, by the way, just coke use, which I am honestly repeating over and over is harmless. It's not totally harmless. It is an addictive, psychogenic drug. It changes your mood, but it's just an upper, like a lot of caffeine. And I am a person that drinks a pot in the morning of thick jankum juice, which can be an upper, but is better known as a hallucinogenic and should be known as a gift and cure-all for mankind. I'm no snake oil salesman, and I'm not selling, I want to point this out, I don't sell my poop. That's something that not many people will tell you. But Jankumites don't need to sell poop because everybody has a fresh supply. And if you get a real fresh turd and you put it right away in a bag and you get it under the sun, you get it in a stove, you get it on the hood of your car, then it's like splat, and you've got a chance to ferment it to the point where you grow a third pink eye, where you actually transcend time and space and human nature, where you become not an individual, but a community unto one, a Three Musketeers wish hole, and you are all for one at the same time as being one for all. It's something beautiful, and this is fake. It's not even real poop. And that's what hurts, is that I can't show you the process that I value so highly because of poopophobia and bigotry in the culture. Because if I showed you real poop, this video would be taken down and my channel would be at risk. So I can play around with rainbow poop all day with a punibrow. This rainbow poop has a punibrow. And I am cursed with a unibrow, and so is my daughter. Damn it. I hate my genes for it. But I have to shave this sucker. But it's not a punibrow. What if it grew poop? Like hair grew poop instead of hair. What would our lives be like? It would be so different. People would be so much more humble and embarrassed of everything. We would just be loath to approach one another at the fear of being judged for the smell that is not your fault. If you're growing poop out your hair follicles, it's not your fault if you smell bad. And so nobody should think less of you. But try it sometime. You can't do it. And there's a lesson to that. You can't grow poop out of your hair follicles. Not many people will tell you that. And so the conversation about racism becomes childish because it should be obvious that Jenkem is above all. And so it's childish to talk about it. It should just be assumed in our society that everybody huffs fermented excrement that they save after they poop in a toilet, that they save jealously and happily. That should be a no-brainer. That should be there on the table in advance. The same way people feel like N-word phobia should be on the table in advance. You should know not to say it, especially if you're white. But thinking things, especially because of a race, is in fact technically, logically racism. And that's why I self-identify as an N-word so strongly, and why my family rejects me. I haven't come out of the closet as a Jenkemite, but I came out of the closet as an N-word. And there was a big shut up in my family. A big not want to talk about it. You know, my sister works as a lawyer for a judge, and all she can say is sometimes my judge disobeys minimum sentencing laws. That's the best they have for a system that throws people away. And this is where especially is relevant, because it's not a logical point. Especially black people put in prison unfairly is a statistical point. It's not logical like white people shouldn't say the N-word, because that is, there's a quantum difference. If you say black people are disproportionately likely to go to jail unfairly, you can make that point and point at the numbers. But if you say white people shouldn't say the N-word, statistically, what are you talking about? Rules don't work like that. Either you can say it or not, either you're white or not. You can't escape that. And you can't escape anything. And that's what I wish I could provide to you personally as a subscriber. A get out of jail free card, both literally and as an analogy for pain and suffering. Wouldn't it be great if we could drop that card on the table? But we can't. So bad things remain in place. Thank you so much for watching my rant.